This is John from Peach Guitars, and we're here with Mike Lewis from the Fender Custom Shop. How you doing?
Doing great.
You've got have you tired from the NAMM show yet? Or
Not yet.
Not yet.
Sunday afternoon, I'll be ready.
Saturday's a tough day
as
well. Noisy. So obviously, amazing booth again this year.
Thank you.
We was here on Wednesday night for the lottery event, and we got a couple of guitars, fortunately.
Fantastic.
As well. I think we got one master built and one team built, which was really great. So
cool.
Anything we can get, the better. So obviously, you've got a few massive releases with the Rocky, and also the 70th anniversary of the Broadcaster.
Yes.
As I mentioned to you earlier, I kind of wanted to just pick your brain a little bit about some of the, rather than us just doing a rundown,
Sure.
I want to, talk to you about the nitty-gritty details, because you're an amazing guitar player anyway, and, a lot of these little changes that people don't necessarily see under the hood, with a lot of the pickups, and we get asked all the time about, what is the difference between Ancho Poblanos and Texas Specials, and would you be able to kind of give us a rundown of the family of pickups kind of thing
Sure.
that you like to spec out and stuff as well? Because is it yourself that specs out like the NAMM collection guitars?
Yes.
Yeah, cool, great. Well, I often find with, in recent years, all the changes and all the little small details that go into a lot of the guitars are there for a reason.
Oh, yes.
Rather than it be like, let's try one with a humbucker and this bridge, or locking tuners, they've been done for kind of all the right reasons. And me being, an absolute Fender nut, and always have been since I was a kid, all these little small details, and it's a bit of a kind of like a fanboy moment kind of here a little bit as well, when I used to have the Frontline magazine, when I was sitting there, before I had a computer, read through that thing like 50 times, trying to find a
collection of those books.
Yeah, trying to find all that old stuff was just amazing. And just another little bit of history as well. The first time I saw you play was at in Hendon at Arbiter, when the Jimmy Vaughan Strat just came out.
That goes back.
It goes back a while, and I think the
What
deluxe.
were you, 12 then or something?
Probably about that. I think I probably was actually about 17. It was about 17, and I was like, wow, just I loved your guitar playing anyway. So I've got that all out of the way now anyway. But yeah, so I really want to know about kind of what you've done with the pickups. Because before I think people just thought it was like Texas Specials, Fat 50s. And a few of the other choices, but it's a much bigger range of pickups and small details, and also the wiring. I've seen on a lot of the new guitars, especially the tellies. It's a good education for me about some of the new wiring that you're doing on some of the tellies. So perhaps we can start with the pickups.
Sure. Well, what I always say is it's never one thing.
No.
It's the whole thing.
Sure.
Right? If you look at the Fender designs in general,
Yeah.
they're complete designs. From head to toe,
Absolutely.
everything works together, right?
Yeah.
So when we're designing pickups,
Yeah.
it's like we don't think of it in terms of, well, this pickup does this.
Yeah.
What we think of is does it allow the player to do?
Sure.
Okay, that maybe a standard pickup doesn't.
No.
So let's talk about the family of pickups with the Poblanos and the Tomatillos
that's
and
exactly
the El Diablos.
that. Yeah, exactly that.
Okay, so that's a family of pickups that got started with the Poblano. And what I was looking for myself as a player, okay, was I wanted something that had the sound, the really old sound of an unpotted pickup. Okay, so today we wax pickups and we wax the pickups,
Sure.
right? Because most people play really loud with
Loads of
overdrive
gain,
pedals and things.
exactly.
But the original pickups thing weren't potted in wax because we didn't use fuzz tones.
No, exactly.
Then.
Straight to the amp.
And through the years, they had to pot it in something to hold it together.
Of
If
course.
you've ever seen a pickup that was unpotted, they're very delicate, and sometimes the wire breaks and things. So they would pot it either in lacquer or shellac in the old days, and it gives the sonic effect of the almost same sound as being unpotted, which is very open and lively. And sometimes the wax can constrict the tone a little bit. It sounds a little more focused like this.
Yeah, well, these are the details that we want to know, because like what make these small little changes make so important. So
this family of pickups, they're all potted in shellac.
Right.
Okay? We call it the secret sauce.
Yeah.
And so the sound is much broader.
Yeah.
It's like it's wide. Like
Yeah,
this,
it is.
okay?
Yeah.
And with the Poblano, that was the first set, and it's like each pickup is different from the other.
Yeah.
A lot of sets are the same pickup in different positions, maybe more or less winds or whatever. But in the Poblano, what we were looking for was a bridge pickup that sounded as much like a Telecaster.
Yeah, well, it's with the flat poles on it. Yeah.
So we put Alnico 5s in that, and enamel wire, which is like what comes in a Telecaster. The enamel wire is a little less bright than the Formvar wire.
Sure.
That came later in the mid-'60s. And we put flat poles on it so you could actually raise the pickup higher.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And, you know, of course, a certain number of turns, that's the secret, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly.
And so we, fool around with that until you get a nice, get what you're looking for. Then you sort of voice the other pickups after that, because that's the one.
That's the starting point.
That's the starting point. And so the neck and the middle pickup wanted something that was warmer, but also had that open sound. So we went with Alnico 3s.
And they're not actually super hot, are they, at all? Yeah,
I
think a lot of people with the name think it's going to be a high output, a supercharged Texas Special or something like that.
Well, the Poblano's not a hot pepper.
No. Well, maybe I should try some.
Right, it's a tasty.
Yeah.
Very flavorful.
Yeah.
It's got a real nice twang to it.
Yeah.
Okay, when you eat it. So that's why it was called that.
Yeah. When I try those pickups, it almost has like you're talking about the bigness or the spread of the sound. They almost sound like when you first try a guitar tuned to E flat. Yeah. It's got that extra bottom end kind of not the power, but just an extra frequency range almost. Yeah. And that's when I first tried it. That was just what came to my mind straight away.
They're carefully calibrated for output from the neck to the bridge. And also from string to string, the neck in the middle. If you'll notice that the magnet stagger is not your standard vintage stagger. The G is lower, and the B and the high E are higher.
Yeah, so a little bit more even.
A little bit more even. And, the high G magnet was great back when we used wound G strings.
Of course, yeah. Okay?
But at some point, we all switched to plain G strings, and that G string is really, really super loud.
Yeah.
But however, a lot of music was recorded, and great solos were recorded with those pickups. Yeah. And that G string has got that really singy sound. So that's the sound we like, Yeah. So you've got to be careful not to
dial that out too much. Yeah.
So then the next set that came was the El Diablo, which was like a much hotter version of the Poblanos. And it's not that it's just the same pickup with more lines. No. It's completely different. Everything about it's different. Yeah. But the premise is the same. But it's for somebody who's really looking for that extremely hot sound, but not oversaturated with mid-range like you would normally get with a hot pickup.
Yeah. And it's got kind of like, almost sounds like there's like a booster pedal on top, doesn't there? It just hitting the front end of the amp a bit harder.
But it's still open.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's still got that airy sound.
Oh yeah, no, all of those pickups have still got that kind of the family of sound, haven't they, between them all? And then so that moves us on to the Tomatillo.
Tomatillo is the most recent one. Now, the Tomatillo is a little fruit, right?
Yeah.
That is, it's not spicy, but it's really sweet and tangy. Mm-hmm. Okay, so these pickups have that kind of feel and sound to them. You have Alnico 2 magnets. Yeah. Okay. So all the highs are a little bit rolled off. Yeah. Sweet. More of a sweet high.
Would you say that would be more suited to a maple neck guitar or good in a rosewood as well?
I think it depends on the player.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it depends on the attack as well, I guess.
We've done them mostly with maple necks. Yeah. But not necessarily on purpose.
No.
But they're on the lower side in terms of output.
Yeah.
And lower output pickups are extremely popular with a lot of players because they're much more dynamic.
Yeah, especially with the big kind of high headroom amps that a lot of people are using now with pedals and stuff as well. They want that cleaner sound, don't they?
Turn it up a little bit, turn the amp up a little bit, and then when you play softly, it gets really clean, and as you dig into it, it's much more dynamic. So the hotter pickup is not for everybody.
No.
And the lower output pickup's also not for everybody.
I think the higher output is great if your starting point is kind of gained straight away anyway, isn't it? But when you came over and you did the road show in the store, you was playing straight into the front of the amp and just kind of, you had this little, I think it was the Vibrolux reverb that you was playing through, and when you rolled it right down, you had that such really nice clean sound, and then cranked it right up, and I was like, where's the pedal? Where's the pedal going on? I was waiting for something. I was like, well, that's a special amp. He's brought a special amp in. But
the guitar could have also had the tone saver on the volume knob. Yeah. It's a treble bleed that we developed, where it's you know how the treble bleed works. It's normally a cap and a resistor in parallel.
Yeah.
And the function of it is, as you turn the volume knob down, it's like a bright cap on an amp, right?
It's almost like a bass knob as well, though, isn't it? On a lot of guitars, they're very thin, aren't they? When you roll the volume down, sometimes on some kind of treble bleed types of things, but it's not on the.
It almost sounds kind of artificial in a way. So the tone saver, it doesn't add or take away anything.
No.
What it's a cap and a resistor in series as opposed to parallel. It's all housed inside one little container.
So it keeps the just purely consistent tone,
the same
but just
sound.
lower, lower volume. Yeah. No, I was thinking there must be something else going on in there, but and I was like, I'll scrap the pedal board. I'll just use straight to the amp. So you've obviously got the broadcaster as well from the Custom Shop this year. I mean, and with these guitars like the Rocky, I mean, you still keep finding these amazing guitars to keep doing these amazing kind of tribute guitars and replicas and things like that as well. When it comes down to doing like these kind of tribute type guitars and all of that, do you have the final say in which master builder does it, or is it kind of you throw it out there and see who could do the most press ups or something?
It depends. Sometimes the artist or the estate, in this case, they already have experience with a particular builder.
Of course, yeah.
And they come to us and say, hey, we're ready, we'd like to do this, and we would like, in this case, we would like Paul to do the guitar, because Paul did the George Harrison.
That's
Kelly,
right, yeah.
and they knew Paul and they had experience with him. But in other cases, yes, I'll assign it to somebody.
Yeah.
But you look at the guitar and you look at your builders, you go, okay, who's suited for this?
Was that kind of the same thing with the Stevie Ray and the Jimmy set that you did? Obviously, was it because of John did the first
Well, John
guitar?
did the first one.
Yeah.
And the interesting story about that was he wasn't originally going to do that.
No.
That was originally going to be John English.
Right.
And at that time, John was like years back ordered, and he said, look, I got way too many back orders. How about we get somebody else? That's somebody else. So at the time, Mike Eldred was doing this, and he went to John, who was a brand new builder, just out of the apprentice phase, and said, here you go.
And look what happened to his back order.
Exactly. Look what happened to him.
Same thing.
So in the case of that guitar, when the 30th anniversary Vaughn Brothers set project came up, I went to John and I said, you ready for part 2?
Yeah.
And he was excited. He wanted to do it.
Yeah, I kept one. We had one that come in, and that's safely ensconced at the out the back at Peach Guitars. I had to keep that one, but I love the Jimmy as well. That's a great guitar.
Well, any one of our builders could do any one of those guitars.
Yeah. And
in some cases, you're like, who seems right at this time? Who's due?
Yeah,
who's due for it?
I think I'd kind of love to have seen what Dale could have done with it as well, because we sell loads of his guitars and we've got lots and lots on order, and he does a really, really sweet heavy relic job as well.
He does.
I noticed a few of the apprentice master builders and a few of the other guys. I think they've had a spy cam in his booth looking at some of his techniques for the pick guards and some of the aging.
It's pretty off the hook, some of the stuff they're doing.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, and it's some of the new master builders, we were walking around and was thinking, oh, that's a Dow or that's a John Cruz guitar, but they're really, really taking it up a notch, and going to have to give these guys are going to have to take it up a notch even further, aren't they, as well? So you're going to work them even harder. So so coming back to the broadcaster, so is there a master built version of that?
The broadcaster is for 2020 only.
Yeah.
And we're doing a team built version and a master built version.
Yeah.
The master built version, there's 70 guitars.
Lovely, yeah.
And we're going to split it up amongst all the master builders. They'll all do a couple, because we have 12 master builders now. And then on the team build side, we're going to do a NOS version, a Journeyman relic, and heavy relic.
Right.
And they're basically the same spec, except one is, one
and
will
the
be
colour
master
will
built.
change slightly, I guess, between the different agings.
Color changes a little bit. Some are faded, some are aged, whichever, based on the finish. And the specs came from a broadcaster that we looked at actually about 9 years ago.
Yeah.
When we were speccing out the guitars for the American Vintage Series, we had the fortune to look at a really nice 54 Strat and a broadcaster, as well as a bunch of other guitars. But when I saw that broadcaster, it was one of the finest examples I'd ever seen, because they're all different.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? But this one was like stellar. It's okay. Let's document this, because in 8 years we're going to do this.
Yeah.
So It uses a neck shape that we've never used before.
Yeah.
So we documented that. And we came out with the pickups a couple of years ago, the 5051 black cards.
Yeah.
And those are the closest thing we've ever done to the original 1950 pickups. When we take apart an original pickup, and then you look at the specs or the notes that you had on hand, they don't match.
Right.
You know what I mean?
They shouldn't work, but they do.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like, this is what was made, but it doesn't match the notes in the history books. So you go with what you found, you know what
exactly,
I mean?
yeah.
And it's a bigger magnet, bigger diameter, the wire's thinner. So that right there, that's something new and different. And the combination of that equals this really juicy tone.
Yeah.
And of course, it wasn't potted in wax. So we pot that in shellac. And this pickup is just out of this world.
Yeah.
And then, so you have Alnico 3s, big wide magnets in the bridge, and Alnico 5, big wide magnets in the neck with a thinner wire and more turns. It's just unbelievable combination.
Yeah, oh, it sounds absolutely killer. We've had one, I think we've had an NOS one in already, and that sold straight away. But it did sound really juicy, like you say, really fat sounding, and I think that's going to be another popular one for this year. And one more guitar that I forgot to mention as well was the Eric Johnson Master Built guitar. So has he driven the Master Builder insane with his minute level of details?
No, not at all.
Because it's not an ash body, is it? It's a
sassafras.
Sassafras, right?
We actually just did a demo with Eric on the guitar.
Oh, right.
And but that's part of a series called Stories.
Yeah.
That the Fender production line is doing Eric Johnson's Virginia.
Yeah.
And then we're doing a limited up to 50 pieces in the custom shop. They're really the same specs.
Yeah.
Other than we're using a nice flame maple neck.
That's right.
And the finish is the deluxe Closet Classic finish. Some checking in it and stuff. But he was very clear with the specs and everything, and it's not very straight ahead as far as that goes. And the beauty was that Carlos Lopez, the master builder, made the first sample. Yeah. And Eric approved it
straight away. Wicked, amazing. Well, those guys, that just shows you that it's testament to them, isn't it? That you can get in, if you can get inside the head of Eric Johnson and get him, kind of there. It's like everything else should be easy after that.
There's plenty of conversations ahead of time,
of course.
But it was great.
Great, and just one other thing as well. You mentioned about the some of the new Telly pickups. There's also, I noticed on some of the spec sheets for the new guitar, there's some slightly different wiring options as well. There's kind of like was it on the Strat, the half blender? Isn't there like loaded no caster wiring or?
The loaded no caster is a pickup.
Yeah.
And it's basically you start with the regular no caster pickup, and we went with the Alnico 3s in the bridge and Alnico 5 for the neck and the 43 gauge wire, just like the 5051, but they're the standard diameter magnets.
Okay.
And they're potted in wax.
Okay.
So the loaded is a little bit hotter and juicier.
Yeah.
Than the standard no caster.
Okay.
The wiring. Which wiring were you asking about?
I'm sure I'd seen some different. Obviously, in the past it's always just been straight volume tones, three-way, and then the modern wiring with volume and a tone. But I'm sure I saw there's some new wiring options in the.
There's a half blender wiring.
The half blender.
And then we also have the modded no caster wiring.
Yeah, that is it.
So the half blender. The regular blender, the way it works is you get a master volume, master tone, and then the bottom knob will blend in the neck and the bridge pickup.
Sure.
So if you're in the rear
telly sound,
if you're in the rear position, bridge position on the switch, the knob will blend in the neck.
Yeah.
If you go to the neck position on the switch, the knob will blend in the bridge.
Sure.
Okay. So that's cool.
Yeah.
But what if you want to? You want
to flick up to the neck pickup
and not turn your knob?
Sure.
Okay. So you come up with a half blender circuit, so that it only works in the first two positions.
Oh, cool. Right.
You know what I mean? So when you go to your neck,
you've still got that.
You still got your just full on neck and full on middle.
Yeah, that would work well for me because that gives you like a telly thing.
The loaded no caster is like the original broadcaster wiring.
Yeah.
Where down here in the rear position you've got the bridge pickup with volume, and then the bottom knob is a blend for the neck.
So so it's for a 2 pickup telly sound.
Right.
Yeah.
But there's a 15K resistor in there lowering the volume of that neck pickup a little bit, so it's a different mix. But the beauty of it is you can blend it. Okay. Right. You can just blend a little bit of that neck in And those are the lost broadcaster sounds.
Right.
Sounds you cannot get on a regular telly. Okay. In the middle position is the neck.
Yeah.
Just volume.
And then is it the neck with a tone off?
And now the original wiring in the forward position, there's this big fat capacitor making it control.
Yeah.
But the reason why it was done that way was because it was
Double
before
bass.
the electric bass.
Electric bass.
Didn't have a bass, you know.
Sure.
So what we did on the modified part was put a very small capacitor on there, just rolls the highs off.
Yeah, slightly darker.
And it sounds like a regular telly neck pickup.
Yeah.
Whereas
sure.
in the middle, with the wide open neck pickup, it's as loud as the bridge pickup.
Lovely. Yeah, no, that's great. I think all these small little details, which is, I think has really taken, already great guitars into just really amazing sounding guitars, straight out of the box. It always we sell lots of aftermarket pickups and stuff like that, but it would, 4 or 5 years ago, we'd go and sell, a lovely custom shop Strat, and then people would change the pickups out straight away without giving them a chance, kind of thing almost. But
pickups are great.
Yeah, well, even more so now with this family of pickups that you have, and hopefully we've cleared up a few of these specs for people. They can kind of see what we have, come in and try out the different pickups, because we have them all in the guitars, all the different ones all the time. So we always try and carry a good range of all the different models. So I think that will clear a lot of those small little details up for people.
There's great combinations too. Some really good pickup combos. There's a 69 in the neck on a Strat.
Yeah.
A fat 50s in the middle.
And the Texas
special in the bridge.
Yeah.
Or 2 Tomatillos and a Poblano in the bridge.
Yeah.
It's a great combination.
I've not tried that. That sounds cool. That sounds like I would like that one. But are you going to come back over to the UK soon?
Oh yeah,
hopefully?
we'll go over this year, I'm sure.
Yeah, no, that'd be great. Hopefully we'll get you back. Here's some more rocking Freddie King numbers and some Beatles.
Happy to come.
Get Joey up there to do some more singing. But yeah, we're going to sign off there. So thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it, Mike. Great to see you. Thank you.